Hi, I'm Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio. In this video, I'm going to show you on this Bethlehem Star Quilt a different way to look at quilting the background of this. On the previous two videos, I showed you what I would do in the open spaces between the four stars, and here we're going to look at just the block. Now this is one of the appliques that I have hand appliqued down, and the whole block is a 17-inch block, so it is pretty big. And for the quilting in the star, I would probably do a continuous curve. I don't think I'm going to do much more than that in here. The background, though, is going to have feathers in it, and if you want to just look at one block at a time and quilt one block instead of looking at the space between a section where four blocks come together, you're going to be looking at a completely different type of feather in here, a different type of quilting. So here's the end of my block up here, and then down here it is down here, and then we have the side border, and then this is the end of this block, so you can see how much space we have here. Now if you wanted to do feathers, you could make one feather that weaves in and out all the way around here and just bring it all the way around in one continuous circle. And to do that, I would start with my spine. I would probably come down. I'm going to try it two different ways. I'm going to come down in here, and on this side I'm going to go around and down. I think that's probably how I would rather do this. But we'll see the difference between this corner and this corner here. And hopefully you'll be able to see that. That's kind of out of the far away from the screen. So let me do this one that direction. I'm just going to do half of this since we're kind of limited on time. So find a place where you'd like to start, and you can start either inside or outside. And once again, I'm just doing the basic formal feather. And you can decide if you want these feathers to come all the way up to your edge of your block, or if you like to vary the length of your feathers. And by that I mean make some short and some long. And I usually do the one I bump back over, I make the short one so I don't have to go back quite so far, and then do a long one, short and long. And you can do that all the way around. Whoops. And these feathers are a little bit fat. You can make them thinner than this if you want. And you can hear my puppy barking in the background. It's nice and warm today for February. It is 70 degrees, and she likes being outside. She's barking at the neighbor's dog. Okay, then come back around. We're going to just bring these all the way in here. Now these feathers are going to get really long, so if you want to add a small one in there to kind of break that up, it'll still fill in the space and give you a little variety in your feather there. And just keep coming around. So you could do something like that. That would fill up the space. And then you could do different kinds of feathers. You could do the ones with the curls in them. You could do the little vein inside. You could, instead of a curl, you could also do just like a circle. And that kind of a feather would go like this, and then you come back around to your next one. And those work real continuous, and they're really easy to do. Come around, circle up to your next feather, and that way you're not backtracking on anything, and then you've got this little circle in there. And you can also go around twice in there if you want. So that's one idea for feathers. Now, if you don't want to do something continuous, if you want to do something different in these sections, the fact that these star points don't go up to the end of the block, you'll have to make imaginary borders there yourself, or quilt them in. And by that I mean you're going to have lines like this to divide these sections where you're going to end your feathers. You don't necessarily have to quilt that in, but you want to look at that section as this is where it ends. So let me work up here. This section here, you could do, I'm going to do this. Put that one in. And then that gives you a natural boundary where this feather ends. You don't have to draw that line here. And then that will be blocking off this section where you could do something different. Like you could do a feather wreath in here if you wanted. You could do any kind of a triangular design if you want to split this in two. You could do that. And you can refer back to those previous videos, and that shows you how I did some designs in triangles. We could block this off and do like the circles around, or the herringbone, or just the lines, the meandering lines, and then do your feather like this in here. Now these are kind of directional because these feathers are just going in one direction, so the only thing you'd have to worry about is you're going to have to make sure they're all going in the same direction. Just kind of rotate this design here and just rotate it, and then rotate it again. That would be the only thing you would have to worry about. There you go. Something like that. And then you'd have your circles or whatever in here. Or if you don't want this border, just put this whole feather in there without a separate border around it. Like this. So you would be doing each block in your quilt the same way. And so you would have this feather in each one of these squares, and this feather in each one of these sections here. Those are just a couple ideas. So whether you want to quilt the block, each block around the star, or if you want to look at the sections between the stars themselves and quilt those separately, there's lots of different ways that you can do this. You can break this down into different sections. You could break the whole quilt down into different sections. You could just do a meander all the way through here, a feather meander, or a flower meander, a leaf meander. There's all different kinds of things that you could do when you have a lot of background. Any kind of background design that you can think of, you could put in here. You just consider the space that you have between your blocks. So I hope you found this video helpful, and if so, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thanks for watching.